Go ahead and call this to order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we have a relatively short agenda tonight, so I don't think we'll be very long. First order of business is to approve tonight's agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. You, that passes.
Thank you.
Next item is a motion to approve the Board of Education meeting minutes for March 3rd, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on those minutes? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Here, that passes. The next item is Patron Comments. Do we have any Patron Comment cards? We do not, so we will move on. Next item is Superintendent and Board Comments, so I will turn that over to Dr. Pinoza.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, just a few neat items about some of the students in our schools. 8 Rockwood students have been named to the Missouri 100 Scholars list in 2016. Students nominated for the prestigious list have to pass a strenuous litmus test of 10 areas, and we are proud to announce our recipients. At Eureka High School, we have Nick Stalter and Henry Diekhaus. At Rockwood Summit, we have Elizabeth Bunshu and Maya Hansen. At Lafayette, we have Christopher Foley and Julia Romero. And at Marquette, Kurt Shooting and Shu Han. Congratulations to all 8 of those students for the Missouri Scholars List, making the Missouri Scholars List. And congrats to the Rockwood robotics teams heading to the Super Regionals in Iowa next week. The Quarks and the Bosons. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Yes, bosons. I know that's a scientific term.
Sounds good.
Correct? From Eureka High School. They made the cut at the state competition and will now face teams from across the Midwest March 17th through the 19th. Pretty cool accomplishment. If you've never seen one of these competitions,
Keith.
I highly recommend it. Put it on your bucket list, if nothing else, because it's very enjoyable.
You have to do that a lot.
There are 2 of only 9 Missouri teams. They are 2 of only 9 Missouri teams fighting for a chance to make it to the World Championship. And congrats to Lafayette student Megana Baradwaj. She recently took first place in 2 state competitions, the VFW's Voice of Democracy audio essay and the American Legion oratorical contest. Megana competed in the national VFW competition last week, and she'll compete in the national competition for the American Legion in April. Pretty neat accomplishment. Congratulations to Megana. And we are proud to announce Crestview Middle School has achieved international lighthouse status by the Leader in Me program. In Missouri, only 6 schools have received the honor, including Stanton Elementary and Ellisville Elementary here in Rockwood. This recognition comes because the school has achieved outstanding results in school and student outcomes, including the extraordinary impact the school is having on staff, students, parents, and the greater community. Congratulations to Crestview Middle School and Dr. Patel and her leadership. Another Rockwood student has scored a perfect 36 on the ACT, just unfathomable in my humble mind anyway. Congrats to Eureka High School student Trevor Lewis, who is only a sophomore, scoring 36 on the ACT. Wow. And a few other comments that I wanted to make. I want to, a little, both related, but just so we understand, folks, I know we have some of our transportation folks with us tonight, and I'm glad you're here, but I want to make sure you understand we're doing a lot of hiring of drivers, but it's not an item that's talked about. It's in consent, so I just wanted to make sure that you didn't see the meeting come and go and think, well, they must not have hired. We are, how many? 152 drivers we are hiring tonight, and we're so happy that, yes. so happy that we have, our quality drivers coming over and coming to work and staying on their routes and working with us. It's just really, really exciting. A lot of us got to be part of seeing an example of one of our new buses, not actually one of our new buses, but a model the other night at the little job fair we did, and exciting to see drivers inspecting it and feeling good about it. So we're excited about that and glad to have you here, but wanted to make sure you understood that. The other thing I wanted to mention in relation to that publicly, even though we don't have much of an audience, but I want to put it in public record that I said it, I want to acknowledge Katie Rebelay and her department. I wish they were all here, and it's probably worthy of bringing them all here. But it's one thing to be a superintendent that marches forward with ideas, but you can't accomplish that without great people. And our HR department pulling this off, getting this all done, because we didn't want to leave our drivers hanging as much as possible. We wanted to get them on, get them hired, and that took just yeoman's work from Katie, her department. Stacy Neely spent a lot of time on it, but really your entire department it was a team effort. So thank you for your leadership with that, and we're thrilled to know that that's in consent tonight. So that's all I have.
And 152 sounds like a lot, or it's not quite all we need. So, but it's still a relief that we've got the majority of them. So anyway, welcome, and it's going to be part of the consent agenda. So even though we're not going to separately vote on it, it's there. Does any other board members have comments they'd like to make?
I would like to mention on the Scholars 100, I've listened to this over the years, and we even did it when I was in the school. Is this the first year that we've ever had 8? I mean, it's 8 out of 100 in the whole state. We were bragging if we had 2 or 3, because I'm sure we have the most in the state, because no other district would even come close to us. That's really amazing too, because that's quite an honor, the Scholars 100.
It is 8 students.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Other comments? All right. Let's move on to the consent agenda item. And a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or comments on the consent agenda items? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. Ms. Beto, that passes unanimously.
Thank
That was
you.
it.
It's nothing.
Thank you.
That was it.
That was it. We're going to the regular agenda items. The first one is bond issue purchases. Need a motion to approve bond issue purchases and related contracts between $7,500 and $150,000 as submitted, and I think we'll have a little bit of a presentation on that.
So moved.
Excuse me.
Yes, thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Thank you.
Got that?
Yes, thank you.
Good evening. We have 7 total items on the agenda tonight. The first one, under $150,000, is for Winco Window Company. Say that 3 times. That is for window systems for Werther Elementary. That is out of our cycle maintenance money in the bond issue. These window systems will be purchased as materials and installed by Rockwood School District staff.
Yeah, that's the only item below $150,000.
Correct.
Any conversation or questions about this item? All right, then the motion is to approve the bond issues under $150,000. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Ms. Beto, that passes. All right, the next item, and we will take the motions one at a time because they're individual items of value higher than $150,000. So if we can go through those one at a time, we'll do a motion after each one and take them one at a time.
Okay, absolutely. The first 4 items are actually part of a large roofing package that we put out with our cycle maintenance money out of the bond issue for cycle replacement of our roof systems throughout the district. That package was divided up among 4 contractors. The first of those being Kerberg Company, and they have received Baldwin Elementary for $212,460. Oh, baby.
All right, so on this first one, I need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 from Beatty Roofing and Sheet Metal Company for the district-wide roof improvements.
We're doing these one at a time.
One at a time.
Yes, one at a time because they're over $150,000.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments about the first one? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Either that passes. All right, next one.
Okay, D.E. Martin is the next company. They are actually responsible for Stanton and Werther Elementary Schools, as well as Rockwood Summit High School, for a total of $942,687.
Any questions? All right, so we need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 from DE Martin Roofing Company for district-wide roof improvements.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on this one?
How
All those
close,
in favor, please say aye.
Oh, he's got a question.
Nope, I'm sorry.
how close are we getting to having our roofs like we want?
This is actually the big push. We did some roofing last year. This is the big summer as far as replacement. We feel after this summer, we will have some money left over in the cycle maintenance, but we'll be in a pretty good spot, especially after next summer. But this is the large package. This is the biggest package we'll see in this bond issue, and this is addressing the highest needs at this point. But, you know, obviously with 3.7 million square feet, you're always going to have issues. But this, we feel like this will really, you know, address a lot of the issues we currently have.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, this one is to approve the bond issue for DE Martin. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Thank you, that one passes.
Next. Right, okay. Okay. Jim Taylor.
Jim Taylor.
Next company up for approval is Jim Taylor. This is also part of the roofing package and is for roofs at the Center for Creative Learning, Ellisville, and Kellison Elementaries. A total of $557,735.
All right, I need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts for over $150,000 from Jim Taylor Incorporated for district-wide roof improvements.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. That one passes. Three more.
Last company as part of the roofing package that is up for approval is Kerberg Company. They are, and I described it a little bit earlier, got mixed up in the beginning, but this is for Baldwin Elementary for $212,460.
All right, I need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 for Kerberg Company for district-wide roof improvements.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments or questions on this one? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. That one passes. Next one.
Okay. The next item up is for Sheldon Laboratory Systems. This is actually part of our STEM lab renovations project for Lafayette and Rockwood Summit High Schools. We felt it important to break this piece of this contract and construction project out and get it bid early due to the lead time on the science lab casework. So this is for the casework and installation only. This contract will be rolled into the general contractor's contract upon awarding that to a general contractor through the bid process. So this is for the casework and the installation of that casework as part of the STEM labs at Lafayette and Rockwood Summit. Total $1,578,430,000.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 from Sheldon Laboratory Systems for district-wide STEM lab renovations.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments on this one?
This is just the beginning of the STEM labs.
That is correct. This is the
What
first.
else, what would be the next step?
The next step is when we bring a contractor for approval for Rockwood Summit and Lafayette High School.
Okay, but this is still just the framework? Or does it include all the equipment?
As far as this approval, this is the casework, this is the countertops, the shelving units, the cabinet work, all of the casework within the labs is very specialized items that have a long lead time. And we felt it important to get that awarded and get that, you know, ordered right now. And then we'll marry this contract with the general contractor when we have that person on board.
General contractor would do the plumbing and lighting and all
Correct.
that
They
stuff?
would do everything else. Plus, they would be responsible for the execution of this contract as well.
So then after that's done, then it's a purchase of equipment? and-
Correct. Whatever furniture or
That's
you know,
what I meant.
additional equipment that would be needed.
I'll take care of that. I'll take care of those.
Yes.
Estimated time of finish?
Before school.
Stay busy, son?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are spaces that are heavily used, and, you know, the schools really can't function with their science departments without them. So, our goal is to have them completed before the beginning of school.
Next year, you'll work on the other two, which would be Eureka and Marquette,
That is correct.
and you go through basically the same process?
Correct. There may be some more design work needed for those two locations just because of the complexities of the additions and
Each one's
and the
unique, isn't it?
renovations. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We may start on Marquette, depending on how we end up with these bid results. There is a chance that we would start Marquette's addition this fall.
How can you do that?
The addition. It's an addition,
So theirs is an addition.
yeah.
Okay.
A piece of it would
A
be.
piece of it's an addition.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't be, not to be completed by next summer, it's still the second.
But it won't disrupt any of the classroom?
That's correct. It would be an opportunity to do some work that would not disturb the learning environment, so we would take advantage of that time.
Where are you putting that at Marquette?
The design has been finalized, but right now the concept is to come off the loading dock area.
Oh, above the loading dock area on the
Correct.
second or third?
Second and third
Second
floor.
floor, second, third floor?
Yeah, until-
You still have the integrity of the loading dock underneath, is that right?
That's correct, but we feel like we have a pretty good plan in place to deal with that.
That's interesting, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, then, I don't remember if we did the motion, so we already,
Or you do that?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
we did. So the motion is to approve the purchase for Sheldon Laboratory Systems. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Thank you, that one passes. We got one more.
Okay. The last item we have is one of the larger special projects we had included in this bond issue, and that is the renovation and cafeteria and kitchen renovation projects at 3 locations. That's Utah Valley, Stanton Elementary, and the CCL. That's for Wachter, who is a contractor we're familiar with. They recently did the Irene Wing at Ellisville Elementary, where we had some major settling issues. They completed that project and did a really good job, and they've received the recommendation for this project as well. And I would like to say, just to mention 2 of the large players in this design process, and a person from Wachter is here. Bruce Dell was the architect on this project at all 3 locations, and Mark Camp is with Wachter and would be the project manager for these projects.
Great, welcome. All right, so we need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 from Wachter Incorporated for district-wide kitchen and cafeteria expansion and/or renovation projects.
So move.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments on this one? All right, all those, yes?
These three were the major ones that needed the expansion and updating the worst?
That is correct. We actually, when we were formulating the list of projects for this bond issue, we actually looked back at history on prior bond issues that did not pass, and that kind of guided us towards where our greatest needs were, and these were 3 of the locations with the greatest need. And I would also like to point out, as part of this project, we had a construction budget, but a huge piece of this project is the food service equipment, which is a major amount of money. And Child Nutrition and Carmen Fisher has been a part of this design process, and her funding will actually support the purchase and installation of that equipment. So it's really been a team effort. These are very expensive renovations to do when you're touching kitchens and cafeterias.
Do you have other ones on the board after these get done?
Not at this time, we do not.
And Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be, but if memory serves me when we discussed this last year, maybe that's with the exception of Eureka Elementary.
Yeah.
That was
Correct.
That was definitely on the list, but we obviously didn't think that it made sense to
Yeah,
sink
it was.
money into something that may be we may be building a new Eureka Elementary in the future.
That's correct. Eureka Elementary was on the radar. Absolutely.
Can we assume then that most of the other ones have adequate space, it's just a matter of upgrading equipment from time to time?
That's correct. And we typically do that on a yearly cycle with Carmen. This is a little different year with these large projects and renovations going. Typically, she would meet with us and we would identify equipment needs throughout the district that are just direct replacements, and we would handle that with Carmen.
Good, thank you.
Other questions or comments? All right, the motion on the floor is to approve the bond issue purchases from Wachter Incorporated. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. That one passes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, as we said, we have a very light agenda tonight. The only couple things left is to look at the agenda for next time. It's worth noting that this is the last board meeting before the April elections. We have two candidates, incumbent candidates for 2 seats, so I'm feeling pretty good about the outcome of this one. What we will do, what we will do at the beginning of the next meeting is reorganize board member offices again. We'll need to elect a president, a vice president, and a treasurer. We'll begin that at the beginning of the meeting, then we'll go into closed session and come back out and take care of business as usual. But right now, the agenda is not all that encumbered, but within 2 or 3 weeks, I'm sure we'll come up with more things that need to be done, so.
Probably a little more.
April 7th, for sure, at 5.
Any questions or comments on the agenda for next time? There's still opportunities to add things to it between now and then. All right, one last item is future agenda presentations and events to attend. If we have anything specific coming up, I know a spring break is on everybody's mind, and since the only people that stuck around were transportation folks, they're apparently interested, so. All right, any other items anybody would like to discuss? We will adjourn. Thank you very much.